Hey, hello out there. Welcome to my show. I hope everybody's having a great time, a great Saturday, and happy Easter. Welcome to my channel. Hello, hello. Welcome to my show. I got the link there. I put the link there if you want to come and talk. Let's talk about anything except for religion and politics. Huh? I guess you don't want to talk. Let's see, who do we have? Ah ha ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. Let's all become one. That's all. Hey, hello, Diamond Cutter. How are you? Thanks for dropping by. Oh, happy Easter to you. Well, let's see. Tonight, well, let's see. Tonight we're going to talk about, let's talk about some ghost stories I want to tell you about. Hmm. Hmm. Here's one. J- Here's one. Many years ago, this was like around in the mid 70s, there was this uh, church. Oh, thank you, Demon Cutter. Thank you very much. Same to you. Also, God bless you. Mhm. Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, let's see. The story begins in the 1970s. This is a story about a church. In that church, there was a school, a doctrine. The school. It was a school that where kids would go and have classes on what they call catecismo, which is before they uh, they take the first communion. So legend has it in this church. This woman came in with a uh, uh, she came in with a child and told the people in the church that her child was very sick, very very sick, and and the child was acting very strangely, sick and something. So they put the child in the church chapel, so before a doctor before a doctor would come and treat the boy. So as they waited for the doctor to come, there was a um there was a strange noise coming in, and nobody knows what it was. Nobody knows what it was. This strange noise that they were hearing. There was like some roar, like a dog or like a lion or something like that, but it sounded like an animal. And then they noticed it was this big animal, this big animal that looked kind of resemble. I mean, as big as a bear. I think like a big as a bear. I think, and they saw it roaming by, and then they noticed something that big animal took the sick child away. As the children who were in the church and the priests and everybody noticed that, they called the authorities while they were, but the priests and the children decided to chase the animal. They chased the animal with the kid, and guess what happened? The animal had disappeared with the child, never to be seen again. Who knows who was that? Who was that animal? Was it was it an animal? Was it an animal demon that was brought that was sent by the devil? No, who knows? Yeah, that is one scary story. Okay, let's see. Let me check out more. Let me see if I can find a good one. Mhm. Oh, okay. Oh, it's the painting. I thought it was. Here's a story of a young woman who loved animals, very much. She would she was a really nice young woman who would rescue animals and put them in shelters and feed them and yeah. So one day she heard some said that somebody was knocking on the window, and it was a cat with big big eyes and an enormous color. Since the woman, since the young woman had the habit of helping animals, she let the cat in. So the cat slept with her, but then she had a strange feeling about this cat. And this cat would follow her everywhere she went, no matter where, no matter where she went. So one day, the cat, which was black, one day this cat noticed that she was petting another cat, and they say that the black cat took didn't like what he saw, and he went, and the cat. They say that he yelled so hard that he's made a roar that sounded like a human, and then the cat killed the other animal. And the young woman started crying. Yeah, yeah. Some of my stories I like to tell are spooky, but they are. Yeah. Once upon a time, this was back in the 70s. There was this girl. This was around Easter time. I think it was 1973, sometime or 76 or somewhere during that time. One day, she decides to go out with her friends. You know, like all the young women like to go. A girls' night out or a night under town. So one day she decides to go out, But her mother says, "No, you're not going to go out. You're grounded. You're going to stay home tonight. I don't want you to go out, okay?" So the girl said, "I don't care what my mom says. I don't care what I do. If I have to dance with the devil, I dance with the devil," she said. So she disobeyed her mom, and she went to that, and she went out with her friends. So they went to this place. So they went to this place, which is I'm gonna okay, okay. So they went to this place. So they went to this place, which is right here. This place was called the Aloha nightclub. It was famous years back, but this photo was taken like in the 50s or 60s, somewhere around that time. The place, burned out, closed. Has been closed since the 90s. I think there was 80s or something. Closed the place, but this place where it was, it burned out sometime. I think it was in 2012 or 2011. I'm not sure when, but it did. Well, the girl disobeyed, and she decided to go here. Decided to go here to this place. As she said, "I don't care. I don't care if I have to dance with the devil. I'll dance." So they went inside. Music was on. The girls went in. They sit on a table. They ordered drinks. But they started talking, gossiping and about school, boys, and all that kind of stuff. And then the girls noticed that there was a man, a gentleman sitting there, a very handsome gentleman, sitting with a very fine suit, with expensive jewelry, fine shoes, perfect haircut. Everything was so unique about this gentleman. And the girl who had said that she didn't care if she had to dance with the devil decided to go to the table where that gentleman was sitting. She went there and she introduced herself to him. And the man very kindly says, "Have a seat. You want a drink?" Sure. Call the waiter. She ordered a drink. And they started talking. And then they decided to go into the dance floor and dance. And things were going well. She was happy, flirting with him and all that kind of stuff, and laughing, giggling. But suddenly she felt something strange about that man. Strange. She noticed that the man's feet were not human. That the feet were made of that the feet were of a goat, like a goat. As she saw it, she freaked out. She freaked out and couldn't talk or anything. She couldn't talk. As she just stood there, a strange, like a strange explosion happened, and smoke started coming out, and the girl collapsed, and she was burned beyond recognition. The people started running away, panicking and everything because they thought a fire started. And the waiters, when they saw that gentleman running towards the bathroom, he told he told other waiters and busboys and everything. Hey, there he is. Let's go check him out. They ran to go see, to go apprehend that guy. But he was not to be seen. He had disappeared. I mean, the bathroom didn't have any windows or anything. There was no way he could escape. He just disappeared, never to be seen ever again. So, what happened? The girl did dance with the devil, as she said, but she paid a very heavy price, a price that cost her her life. And some people would say was because she disobeyed her mom, and it was around Easter time. I tell you, this 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 story has been told a lot in this town for years and years. People notice. I mean, my brother told me once that he knew actually um, one of the waiters who was working at that time told me once. He told me a story about that. He also said about yeah, yeah, that was one creepy story, huh? Mhm. Yeah, yeah. All of these stories are very unique, and they come from this town of Tijuana, Mexico, which is also my hometown. Yes, this street you see. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this street. This street is it's a tourist attraction. Well, there was a time back in the day, like in the '60s, '70s, and '80s, where what was filled with tourists, and you would probably will see a a celebrity there, like I don't know. Well, I'll tell you one in particular because this lady friend of mine told me the story a while back. She said she worked in a restaurant back then in the early '70s, and she got the chance of serving none other than Leonard Nimoy, the actor from Star Trek, uh, who played Dr. Spock in the television series. Yeah, and there's also I think a picture uh, of the late Jim Morrison in one of them nightclubs that was taken prior. Mhm. and and there's also a picture that goes back to the 1930s where F. Scott Fitzgerald, the author, and his wife Zelda were enjoying on uh, a day in Tijuana, Mexico. Yeah. Oh my God, that's kind of weird. Yeah, that's kind of yeah, that's a weird story. Mm. They say many years ago on Sixth Street. Yeah, Sixth Street. I know that street very well, like the back of my hand. They say many years ago there was a boy that was struck by a vehicle and killed. And legend has it he walks among those streets, along those streets. Some say seeking for justice. Oh God. Yeah, that's street. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I'll be right back. Okay. I'm back. Yeah, look at here.